Okay, so here we are, somewhere around Yelm, Rainier, McKenna, Roy, Washington, with a group that has been working with the Keshe technology actually for quite a while and doing some really great things in this area. And since the expo that we had, gosh, how long ago was it? Month? Two? I've lost track of time.
I think it was October.
There's been some talk and excitement about getting more things going on regularly here. From some of the things that we'll talk about tonight that we talked about last time as well, just to give some updates on where we're at with scheduling a workshop type of a thing for next year, maybe even setting up a community center where the Keshe stuff would be experimented with and taught, and instructions and demos. We have a lot of dreams. We actually put together a dream list and sent it to the Keshe Foundation in Arizona, and we got a good response from them too. We'll go over that today. And he even forwarded that on to Keshe and Armin. So it's something that there's a lot of energy behind, and we're looking to kind of talk about where we're at with that tonight. We're going to start with Guenter introducing himself, because he's kind of the one that's spearheading all of this in this beautiful area. And we thought people might want to know who in the world is Guenter. To begin with, the beautiful being, he'll introduce himself and do a little lead-in meditation, which we normally do. It's nice to get our hearts and minds kind of settled into this moment away from our busy day. And he's going to get us into the plasma field a little bit. And then we'll go over some of the other details. Hopefully about 30 minutes, and then after that, then there's some time for sharing things. Some of the people brought some things that they've actually been making and playing with. Guenter brought some toys. Some people have questions about some of the general principles of some of the different parts of technology, so we'll play with some of that for a period of time. And at some point we will stop recording, and then there'll be option to just kind of continue and hang out with us a little bit afterwards. We'll try to keep the recordings down to about 30 minutes at a time, and that way we can upload it later on the YouTube, because the last one we had and posted, it has like 105 views, so I know there's a lot of people out there, that are, not necessarily attending live, but they're able to look at it later in their convenience of their time.
Yes, I hope that this will be an epic meeting today.
Okay, so we'll turn it over to Guenter to introduce himself.
Yes, as you know, I am here the driving part of the group creating a community. I love to do that, and I think I'm able to do that. And to tell more about that, I can start with that in the 80s, I co-created the greatest community in Germany. 150 people and 75 people came together to create a group. And that was all about creating world peace. That was in the 80s.
Wow.
So that was in Hamburg. And that was all connected with transcendental meditation. And the city program. I do not know if you know that. So I did that since 71, and three years later, when I turned 21, I became teacher of transcendental meditation, and I taught transcendental meditation and the science of creative intelligence for 15 years. So I have experience in creating a community. I lived in the community before that time and also after that time, starting 1970. That was a farming community. And in the end, I've been with 400 people. We've been a community too. Actually, it was the driving part of the Maharishi teaching for all over the world, and it's called the MERU, the Maharishi European research university, and I do not know if you guys have had heard about transcendental meditation.
Mm-hmm.
There are research done, and when I left that university, it was just, we've been working on the fourth book of scientific research about that technique, and that was the fourth book, that thick, so 1 inch thick, and then when I left, I heard that there is one fifth book published. So I am telling that because of the 1% Maharishi effect, and it is that we met 3 months before the Berlin Wall went down. We've been together in Berlin, and we had just an annual meeting. We came together to meet each other, to share, and to have fun with each other. There was in Hamburg, we created a choir, and 50 people of our group sang Beautiful Messiah. And then we had our program, we did our meditation over there, and it is also included that we did a city program, which I could explain. And then in the end, we had our yogic flying session, which was 50 minutes, and the meditation is half an hour. And so in total, it's up to 1.5 hours, one session. And so we did that. We didn't think about that we create something which is amazing, because we, in our meditation, we had not the intent, we haven't had any intent. We just transcend in all our thoughts, all our feelings, everything. Mm-hmm. And I am telling about that because I think we should do that too here. Not the transcendental meditation, but that we are transcending all our emotions, all our resistance, all our thoughts, our concepts, that we are surrendering that all. Mm-hmm. And then we go with that, and we go just deeper and deeper and deeper. And then we are connected, we become one with the pure plasma field. Mm-hmm. For me, plasma is an entity, it's a huge entity, multi-level entity. Yes. And so we do not need to, like we did in the expo, it was just fine, holding hands and have a prayer and all of that. We can continue with that. But for me, it is always when I go into somewhere else, into elsewhere, that is just, I feel at home there. Mm-hmm. And it's all about, we call ourselves knowledge seekers. So what is knowledge? Did we ever think about and contemplating about what is knowledge for me? Is it that when we are at our lab, when we are at the tabletop or somewhere else, when we play and have our experiments, then we are gaining data, informations. And then with our mind, we figure out, oh yeah, I learned this and this. And so next step would be to do this and that. So that is just knowledge. Is it really knowledge? Yes, you can say it is knowledge. Some kind of, we are gaining understanding about chemical reaction, biological reaction, all of that. And it is great, it's a great job. But it is all some kind of a linear way. It is just that we go by trial and error, and then we find it out and out and out. Mm-hmm. And in that way, we are seeking, and there are more projects, more things to do, and we are always a seeker. And I understand if we are going linear on with our mind, then we never come to an end. And that is our opportunity, and actually our duty, our right to go home. I call it to go home, back home, in that field of all knowledge.
Yes.
It is not expressed there into the void. It is not expressed there at that level where plasma is pure. There it is just beingness.
Yes.
And that is what I'm missing. And I am I have the hope that especially this spiritual environment here in Yelm, the group we are with, that we are supporting, and we come to that conclusion, something is missing for me. I mean, I'm just only half a year with the Keshe group, and I listened a lot to Keshe, but I never heard him speaking about consciousness. Maybe he did, but he's always telling about, for me, 90% is telling about application. I know that he is telling also attitude is everything. The GANs will be different and grow different when it's somewhere in the basement and not around you. That when you have no love, or when you are not putting a lot of awareness to the GANs, it is not doing anything. I know that attitude is everything.
Yeah.
But I like to have the clarity that this is really, for me, it is an essential part of it, that we all know that knowledge is inside of us. All of the knowledge is inside of us.
Yes.
Because we have that plasma field, that pure plasma field within ourselves. So it is fine when we go outside of ourselves, do this and this and this. Of course, I like to do that. And the intent we have to create world peace with that is great. Yes. But there are two sides, or let's say two directions from where we are. We can go and have our experiments. It's fine. But also we should go inside, close our eyes, and then go inside what is happening inside.
Yes. So, and I'm gonna just kind of reflect on that. That I know, and Dean was just quoting something that we heard Keshe saying after he saw the workshop information that Carrie brought up, that he was very complimentary in how we were presenting the information and teaching the things, but he also brought it back around to like you said, teach what plasma is, teach the principles of it, teach the consciousness of it, and that we should spend a good portion of the first day of a workshop, not try to jam it all in one day, that we should, do much more teaching on that the first day. Rodrigo did one recently I thought was brilliant too, where they handed out either pins or patches the first day, not having people make them yet. Spent the whole day talking about the background, the consciousness connection, and how plasma works in the universe and inside yourself, and the consciousness.
Yes.
And that's the first day. And I hear that in Keshe's teaching myself. I know that a lot of people, it may, they're looking more for the technical aspects, but I hear in his teaching a perspective that really knows, gets, and teaches well the alchemy principles, the consciousness principles. That's just my observation, and it's important for us as teachers and people playing with bringing workshops to other people that we reflect that and we bring that into the teaching. Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's just a bridge. All the pins and pads and patches, they are a bridge to knowing that you are the GANs, you are the plasma field, you are all of that. But it will interface with people at their level of understanding and bring them into a little broader perspective, a little bit at a time, just the way plasma does. It's very gentle, and it will bring you, expand you as you're ready.
I'm thinking about.
Brad had something.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's something that you mentioned that I thought was really principal, and that you touched on too, Guenter, is that we kind of have to re-educate people on this, because people are used to saying, oh, this is a very physical thing, I want to know all the technical aspects about it. And the problem is just seeing it from a technical perspective is not enough. And so it's spending that full day reviewing how the spiritual, how you might say the spiritual or the energetic and the physical work together to be effective is really necessary for kind of reframing how we approach this whole process.
I can imagine seeing your your slideshow is just great. It should be done and applied all over the world. I cannot imagine when Keshe is without a PowerPoint show is telling in his way about plasma. And I cannot imagine that somebody who is new to the whole thing, that they have the capacity to follow him
part of the
for more
challenge.
than 10, 20, 30 minutes. And it's not only about limited attention span, it is also about all those information, and bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
And so then when they are thinking in the end of his presentation, so I think, hey, I think it is very complicated and sophisticated, is that kind of thing.
Mhm.
You know, that person wanted to do it. Let's do it. But no, they have to sit and listen to that dry
Mhm.
teaching.
So there's a
And
good combination.
with your
point.
application, with your PowerPoint show, that is totally a different ballpark.
Well, I think that's part of what I think a lot of the people are hoping to do is just to simplify parts of it to where they are, understandable, and grab the interest while the interest is high, and they feel like they can do it. That's what I saw at the workshop. People were there and they were like, I can nano coat, I can make GANs, you know.
Sometimes I'm thinking that we lost the wave we started at the expo. Because I've been waiting for response from our leaders here in town, but I didn't get any just words.
Well, then,
nice words.
You're the leaders.
I mean, we are more.
We're in that part of the time stream where there aren't leaders, or there don't need to be leaders.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's
That's
right.
why I need to be leaders.
You have an
It
idea,
is
you do
just
it.
that they are passing more email addresses to here.
Mhm.
I made that post on our Yelm. I expect 300 people, and that was just a joke. Wishful thinking.
No, you can still be there.
300.
They're still.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. Everything is a
In
possibility.
the end, let me tell what I'm missing also to make that make it a point that we are a group. We are not only thinking about energy and physicalities. And Keshe was mentioning, you are much too physically to Renan or Bernie that time. That we are just adding also the consciousness aspect to the whole movement.
Of
And
course.
when I see the header of the Keshe Foundation, that beautiful one with all the colors, I see then the application, what was it, health, there is transportation, free energy, agriculture, and all of that. It is all fine. But then there should be also consciousness and communities. Is that what?
I think he ties that in.
No, but
it's not on the label. Okay,
no,
it's not on the
but
label.
that is what I am dreaming about.
Okay.
That is my first.
Mhm.
That is my focus, and it is my dream of next year. That something is happening over there.
Mhm.
Also, that's something that we can include in the headline of what we have to offer as well. So it's a little more prominently displayed. One of the things that I'm concerned about is I don't want to see the other people who have joined in here, if they have some ideas or they have some responses that they can chime in too. And
Yes.
I don't want them to miss out on being a contributor.
I'm trying to watch the chat here. We chose to mute everybody so that the volume would be, but I'll go ahead and pause it for a moment, which we do every now and then, and I will unmute everybody. There we go. I've unmuted everybody. If anybody has anything at this point that they'd like to add or mention, then we'll pause for that. How's that?
Maybe I can have something.
Oops. Just one sec. Okay, there. I thought I had it. Carry on.
That's all right. It's all right. I'll add a little more for Guenter for his consciousness thing. I posted it on the GANS group, and I didn't have to do it in the way I did it, but since I'm working psychically and pulling implants from people and stuff, I had the the intuition that I could just ask the GANs to do that for me. And then I decided that I would drink the GANs. And I know we have GANs in our body, but I kind of feel like it's been polluted or kind of not as bright and functioning fully as it should, like just with the foods we eat and the stuff from the air that drops down. You know, there's a lot of stuff in our environment that does not let us be 100% as bright as we could be. So I drank the GANs and I asked the GANs to turn all the water in my body into GANs water. And then I had a dentist appointment the next day, which brings up anxiety in me. It was just a cleaning, but still.
Can I clarify? You drank the plasma water, right? Not the GANs?
That's correct. I drank the water above the GANs.
Yeah.
And I asked it to turn my body water into GANs, since we're 90%, I think it's 90% water. And the next day I was in the dentist's office and I was able to use the GANs on my body to clear things out and to, you know, whatever I wanted, I was just asking the GANs to do, and which I found really amazing. And that's a consciousness thing, you know, it's sort of getting deeper into your own consciousness, what your body can do once you activate the GANs in your body. And I'm sure I didn't need to drink the GANs to do that, but that's what I did.
Yes.
So just adding that.
You are that. Yeah. Yeah, to me, all of these different things, they fall in the category of what some people call a permission slip. It's, you know, whatever convinces you that you have that power, that you can make those choices and you can be those things. But these are I think that there is something tangible about the GANs in the plasma field that make that access point to that awareness a lot more available, and almost feel like, hey, I can do that, you know, where there would be that question before, I don't know if I can do that. So that there is, I think that both sides of that are true with this technology. That's the way I feel about it. Yep, thank you.
Welcome.
Talk to it. It likes to be talked to. It's just, you know, it's like raw energy. You know, you're sitting in front of the computer. You don't get anything to happen on Google unless you push that button that you know, you type something in and you push the button. You have to choose it, you know. You can't just sit there and hem and haw about it. You got to direct the energy a little bit. Okay. Is there anything else? I think Guenter was going to go into, you want to do the meditation next, or do you want me to show some of these other documents and things?
No, if somebody is really inspired to share.
Okay, so anybody else that has anything they want to say or share at this point before we do kind of a group, get our heads and hearts together for a few moments?
I remember everyone's name except the guy with Guenter.
The guy with Guenter. Can you introduce yourself, guy with Guenter? Oh, let me go back to our screen.
What is his name?
My name is Brad Campbell.
Brad, thank you.
Yeah, Brad is here from Auburn area.
Mm-hmm.
So
Auburn, yes.
getting here, he is helping me and Heather, and so I am very grateful.
Yes.
Appreciative that you are here, coming here and being here and helping to establish and empower the group.
Awesome. All right. Anything else before we start this next little section here? No. Okay, Guenter, let me go ahead. I'm going to do this in small sections because then it's going to be easier for me to upload.
Yeah, do you have some